The #1 thing you'll need this summer to shed that belly fat. Apple cider vinegar.
The best supplement to get shredded in 1 week? L-carnitine. Feel those pounds melt away.
The only exercise you need to get those shredded abs.
Oh my god, these are such amazing tips. We should totally do all of them.
Yeah, but I saw that Jeff from Athlean-X made his own video where he makes fun of these types of tips and he gives his own. Maybe we should try those?
Yeah, but his tips are so long and complicated. These are so simple and straightforward. Let's just do these.
You're probably right.
Ordinary athletes helping you fit fitness even to the busiest of lives.
So check out some of our playlists. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that bell notification so you never miss one of our videos.
For today, we're going to be taking a look at Athlean-X's 5 tips for getting ripped, and we're going to be looking at it from the perspective of an ordinary athlete.
That's right, Jeff Cavaliere over at Athlean-X recently made a video about 5 key tips for anyone who wants to get ripped. And there were no fitness fads involved, no gimmicks, nothing like that. No, instead Jeff covered 5 things that all take serious work and are all long-term key components for anybody who wants to maintain a healthy body composition all year round.
That's right, and so we thought it would be a great idea to cover each one of these tips separately in its own video and delve into some of the details as to how and why an xOAer may want to incorporate these tips into their own lives. So let's get started.
So, as you saw from the beginning of our video when Christina and Ed were vigorously looking up tips on how to get shredded and get ripped, the online community is inundated with all kinds of advice and all kinds of headlines. Headlines like, the #1 tip to get flat abs, or the top supplement to shred fat, or blah blah blah. So when you hear that kind of stuff, you know a bunch of nonsense is coming your way, so don't fall for it. And we saw Jeff Cavaliere over at Athlean-X kind of make fun of this problem at the beginning of his video.
The first thing is, you're gonna have to juice fast once every 17 weeks. Okay, now don't question this because this is all research has proven all of these things. Just do what I say. Okay, number 2, you're gonna have to do fasted cardio every other day. Now don't confuse this, guys. We're not talking about fed cardio. We're talking about fasted cardio every other day, not every day.
Now he's obviously kidding there, but what he did do was provide his own 5 tips for getting ripped. Now what you'll notice about his tips that are different from so many out there is that his tips require hard work, thought, and lifetime habit-forming commitment. Now, some people may not like that, but as a general rule of thumb in fitness, these are the types of recommendations that actually may work. So that's very different from the #1 way to blast belly fat in 10 days type of nonsense. Jeff's tips were no dieting, drink water, prioritize weight training over cardio, lift what you should, and consistency. Now those are fabulous tips, and like we said, we're going to make a video about each one of those tips from the perspective of an extraordinary athlete. So the first tip we're gonna cover may ruffle some feathers and goes against one common myth out there. That's Jeff's tip on prioritizing weight training over cardio. That's something that I also had to learn. We will explain why this is key, and by the end of the video, give our xOAers some recommendations on how to accomplish this.
Point 1. It's a myth that you need lots and lots of long cardio sessions in order to lose weight. And it's a myth that's been going around for way too long, and we're really glad that Jeff's pushed back on it.
I gotta get my cardio in. That's the #1 thing guys think. I gotta get my cardio in if I'm losing weight. No, you don't.
So please listen. We know it feels counterintuitive, but lots of long cardio sessions are not the most efficient path to your fat loss goals, and oftentimes people find them really boring. So the problem stems from the fact that a cardio workout can burn more calories than, say, a resistance training workout. And that leads people to believe that it's the preferred path to fat loss. But by adding lean muscle, you're adding more active tissue, which increases your BMR, your basal metabolic rate. And this allows you to burn more calories even when you're not working out, even when you're sleeping. And this is the part that gets me super jazzed, because as a reluctant worker-outer, anything I can do that allows me to burn more calories while I'm not working out is very exciting. And this has been well-documented, accepted science for quite some time, and academic literature has backed this up for decades. And this is a really key point here, because people tend to get really obsessed with how many calories they burn within a specific workout, and it's really hard to break them of that mentality.
What are you guys doing here? I can't join you for your weight workout today. I gotta hit 300 calories on this. Right now I'm only at 220. Come back and see me later.
What? No!
You'll be better off in the long run if you just join us for weights.
Yeah, come join.
No, I'm good.
Come on,
What are
you're
you
coming
doing?
with
No,
us.
I'm good.
You're coming with us.
300 calories!
So let's ditch this myth and recognize the role of muscle building in our fat loss goals.
Point number 2. Building muscles is absolutely necessary for body composition reformation. Now, both cardio and resistance training will help you lose weight, but it is only resistance training that will help you build muscles. Now, there are a lot of people out there that only focus on cardio in order to achieve their fitness goals, whether it be aesthetic or health. And let's be clear, cardio does have a role in a workout program, especially if you want to focus on cardiovascular health improvements. But if you want that shredded look and better body composition, focus on building those muscles. Now, it is true that added muscle does help with your BMR in the long run, but there are also other benefits, and we can't really go into detail in this video because, well, frankly, this topic is extensive. But just to give you an example, some of the benefits of added muscle are improved moods, decreases in aches and pains, decreases in fatigue, improvements in sleep, and improvements in energy levels. So what this means is that the added muscle puts you in a better physical position and allows for more movement throughout your day. It's sort of like a positive feedback loop. You gain muscle, so you're fitter and you have more energy to do more activities. When you do more activities, you get fitter, and around and around and around we go. The key takeaway here is to remember that strength training isn't just for anyone who wants to only bulk up. In fact, that's a bit of a myth. Strength training can be for anyone who wants to get fitter, feel healthier, and shed some fat. So don't be ashamed of stepping off of that treadmill once in a while and prioritizing weight training over cardio. In fact, all those people that stay shredded all year round, that's what they do themselves.
Guys, I would be ashamed to admit the lack of conditioning that I do in my own workouts. Now, am I conditioned? Can I go out and do a workout that's conditioning? Of course I can, because I've been training athletically my whole life. But I would say I don't do enough conditioning. What I do is I prioritize my nutrition and I strength train and I weight train.
Point 3, understanding the difference between weight loss and fat loss. And this is certainly an issue that we've tackled in some prior videos as well. But it's a necessary piece of understanding this whole prioritizing weight training over cardio point. Many people can end up becoming obsessed with what the scale tells them. And this can very quickly start to become counterproductive, where you might have someone going and running to that scale multiple times throughout the day to see what they weigh and to see how their weight's fluctuating. The problem here is understanding that weight is not a measure of fat specifically, and fat is what you're typically trying to lose. In fact, weight can fluctuate throughout one's day or even between days for a myriad of reasons that aren't necessarily fat related. Your water consumption for the day, your food intake, even the extent to which you're increasing or decreasing in muscle mass will all affect your weight. And that's significantly different than whether or not you're losing fat. And so you're probably far better off periodically checking your body fat percentage as being a better indicator of whether or not you're achieving your fat loss goals. Now, this concept can be highly problematic for a lot of people who start weight training and they're hitting those lifts hard and they're building muscle, but then they go to the scale and they notice they're not losing weight, or at least not losing weight as quickly as they think they should. And so they end up getting discouraged and they end up thinking, this weight training thing isn't working. I gotta go back to just doing cardio. But not so fast. You gotta understand that increases in muscle mass will also show up on the scale as added weight. And in fact, muscle is actually far denser than fat. And so while it's true that certainly 1 pound of muscle weighs the same as 1 pound of fat, which weighs the same as a pound of feathers or a pound of bricks, but you gotta understand that per volume, muscle is going to weigh more than fat. So 1 cubic inch of muscle weighs a bit more than 1 cubic inch of fat. And that's fairly significant. And the reason why this is so key is because if a person starts weight training and they're hitting those weights hard, it's possible that they may only see slight decreases on the scale, especially at the beginning when they're starting to really put on muscle mass. But this may be wholly commensurate with them still achieving their health goals, including losing fat. So don't let that scale fool you and derail you from your muscle building.
Point 4. Yes, cardio does have its place, its benefits, and does contribute towards better cardiovascular health. And if you want, you can combine conditioning work with resistance training. But if you're going to do so, there are some points that you should consider. First, most trainers will recommend putting cardio at the end of a workout and prioritizing resistance training first. This is because you don't want to compromise your energy and strength before lifting, and cardio before certain lifts can put you at a disadvantage. This can be especially problematic if you're considering doing something like running and then immediately afterwards go doing a heavy squat. So if you want that cardio routine, definitely consider putting it after that strength training. But what if you're one of those busy xOAer's out there with little or no extra time? Well, this option may not be right for you, as it actually amounts to more time in the gym. But what can you do? Well, here are a few alternatives. 1. Consider making your resistance training more cardiovascularly intense, and this is particularly easy for beginners. You don't need to jump on a treadmill. There are plenty of strengthening exercises that will cardiovascularly fatigue you. I can't remember how many times while doing walking lunges, I've gotten winded even before my leg muscles have given out. So proper exercise selection can definitely increase the conditioning portion of your resistance training. Second, even if you want more cardiovascular fatigue, apart from what you'll get from specific exercises like walking lunges, then there are good ways that you can incorporate that into your workout regimen as well. Consider, for example, plyometrics and explosive routines. Yes, plyometrics and explosive style exercises are made to improve power, but don't think for 1 second that you won't get winded doing these exercises. These are cardio killers. Third, you can consider supersetting exercises where you're moving from one exercise to another exercise with no rest break in between. And you can even do full-out circuit routines that are dedicated to building muscle, but that also give your cardio a run for its money. And if you want to see what this might look like, then definitely check out our Hit It in 12 workout videos that showcase quick and highly efficient circuit routines that are based around resistance training.
Okay, so there you have it, everyone. That's our take on one of Jeff's top 5 tips for getting and staying ripped all year round. So we hope we were able to give you kind of an xOAer's perspective on why it's so important to prioritize weight training over cardio. And hopefully we were able to give you some added tips on how to implement it yourself.
As for the other 4 tips that Jeff over at Athlean-X mentioned, well, we're gonna cover those in subsequent videos in this little mini-series we've created.
And if you like our videos, make sure to crush that like button, subscribe to our channel, and click those bell notifications so that you never miss our videos.
And let us know if you have any of your own tips and tricks for getting ripped and staying ripped all year round.
Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye!